Hello and welcome to the Supercast. I'm your host, Superintendent Anthony Godfrey. It was a hands-on educational experience that brought aspects of agriculture and having fun on the farm to students in the city. On this episode of the Supercast, we take you to the annual 7th grade Agriculture Day at JATC South, where members of FFA helped teach middle school students about different professions in the agriculture industry, as well as how food makes its way from farms to the dinner table. 2 award-winning goats also joined the Ag Day action, making a special guest appearance on the Supercast. Miranda from Riverton High School introduces us to Leonard and Penny.
My name is Miranda and these are my goats. This one's name is Leonard and then that's Penny. And they're boar goats and they're also show goats. So I use them in like 4-H and FFA competitions and livestock shows, and I actually just showed like a goat like this. His name was Sheldon at the state fair this past weekend. Something about these guys is that to use them in the show industry, you have to train them. So I use something called, this is a rope halter to like teach them how to walk. So you know, like you walk your dogs, I walk my goats. And then I also have a show halter that's a little fancier than this one to use in the show ring with them. You also train them to set up or square up, which is where you put all 4 of their legs like just directly underneath them, and then it just helps them to look their best. And then you do something called bracing, which helps them to flex their muscles because it is a market show, so you're looking for the best animal there, or the best like meat animal there.
Which goat is the greatest of all time?
Probably this one right here.
That goat is the goat.
Yes, he is the goat.
And I see that the tail is shaved and cut in a particular way. Is that part of the grooming for competition?
Yes, it is. And also their legs, like we trim it just like at their hock, so then it's level to the ground, and that's like the trend in the stock show industry. And then we actually do fluff up their legs, and we use a little blow dryer, like how we blow dry our hair, we blow dry their hair, and we make it puffy and we like build it up.
Any of you have goats at home?
I have a golden retriever.
You have a golden retriever but not a goat. Okay, they'd probably get along though. Do they eat crazy stuff like you think they would?
Maybe. These ones were like on a special diet.
Oh, they're on a special diet.
For shows.
A special goat diet.
Yes.
Is it an oat goat diet, or what do they eat?
It's called show right. It's a little gray pellet that you feed them, and then you can also feed it. You just get it from IFA.
Good for the coat. What is your biggest goat award?
Probably this belt buckle I have on right now.
Oh wow!
His
Check
sister
that out.
actually won it for me.
Grand champion goat.
Yep.
Is that from 2021?
Yes, it is.
Well done.
Thank you.
So you are the champion, my friend.
Yes.
Do they know their names?
They might not. Sometimes when you call to them, they'll respond, but
Are they
really.
evil, or do they just look that way?
No, they're actually really nice.
Okay,
I
all right,
like goats
good.
more than sheep. Goats are much nicer.
So sheep are more on the evil end.
Yes. You guys know what goats are used for and why we breed them?
Well, they don't abuse them.
Goat milk.
They cook them. That's pretty much abuse. Cook them? Whoa!
Yeah.
Aren't goats delicate? They're not delicacy.
It's pretty good.
It is?
Yeah.
You can't own a goat and eat goat meat. Look at him. No, he doesn't want to talk to you.
We're here with Sonia Burton, the principal of the Jordan Academy for Technology and Careers, South Campus. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We want to talk about 7th grade Agriculture Days. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it came about by CTE, Current Technical Education, has advisory boards, and we were gathered in an advisory board meeting, and the industry professionals at the time in that meeting asked us what we needed, and they wanted to tie some sort of event to curriculum. And so the perfect class was College and Career Awareness, or CCA, that our 7th graders take, where they learn about different careers in all of our CTE areas and this one happens to be agriculture. This one's a little bit more difficult to get work-based learning experiences or speakers to come in. So we're bringing the students to the industry professionals.
What are some of the other areas you cover in that class?
Family and consumer science, business and marketing, IT, information technology, health sciences, skilled and technical sciences, and tech and engineering.
7th grade really is the perfect time to do that because they have so many class choices ahead of them in middle school and in high school, and a lot of opportunities, and many students aren't aware of the broad range of options that are available to them. Agriculture Days in particular is focused on an area that many kids don't have a lot of experience with.
Right. And that's why we wanted to bring it to them, because mostly students would think of, oh, agriculture is just farming. And agriculture isn't just farming. It encompasses natural resources, food and farming, with food and fiber in particular, but also mining, landscape and horticulture, veterinary science, floriculture, so when you send flowers to someone, all of that is encompassed in agriculture.
Many students don't understand where their food or clothing comes from, and Agriculture Days seems to be a great way to raise awareness, not just of careers, but really how the world works and how their needs are met.
Yes, a lot of students, when you ask them, they say that their food, milk, for example, well, my milk comes from the store. They don't actually know that there was a dairy farmer outside speaking to them about all of their high-tech machinery that they use to milk those cows. And they're milking them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on Christmas.
Yes, the cows don't take a break. So really it connects students to the broader world around them. And even if they don't go into agriculture as a career, a better understanding of that is very valuable because just of the way that we live and the way we rely on agriculture every day.
Mm-hmm. It creates an awareness to your everyday life, which is exactly what CTE in all of our program areas do. It is real life experiences that you can use with your family and your friends, not just in school or in a career.
There are even jobs within Jordan District that would be considered agriculture jobs.
Oh, of course. You have our agricultural educators, which are also FFA advisors. But as you walk into a school, it's not only our teachers, but it is everything that takes place at each of our schools, especially our grounds and maintenance crews. They have to have a knowledge of landscape and horticulture in order to be able to do their jobs. We have the pleasure of having our Jordan District facilities and our grounds crews here to present to our 7th grade students.
We can always use more help. That's great to be recruiting in 7th grade. What are some of the programs available in Jordan School District for a student who is interested in agriculture? At
our comprehensive high schools, there are programs such as animal science. So we have the animal science pathway. We have horticulture or the plant sciences pathway. And then as you move to the tech center, we have veterinary science at JATC North and landscape and horticulture at JATC South.
It's exciting that we have such a wide range of options available for students. If a parent wanted to find out more about what's available, how would they do that?
They're welcome to contact their CTE coordinator at each of the comprehensive high schools, or they're welcome to contact JATC North and South. Now,
we had the chance to interview your daughter and her goats. Well, we interviewed the goats. They didn't really respond very well, but they were attentive. Tell me about what that's like as a family. You've done this for a long time.
We have. My parents actually decided that was a good way to learn responsibility at a young age, and so my dad did help us get into raising market lambs and goats. We still do it now. They raise market lambs and goats in Joab County, and my children and my nieces participate in that family event.
So market lambs and goats as opposed to black market lambs and goats?
These animals are show animals, so they will go to your livestock shows and fairs or exhibits around the state and around the country.
Is it hard to say goodbye to those goats when it's time to send them to market? It
is. There have been many tears shed, many many, okay, just one more minute at the pen before we have to leave, because not only do you name them, each of these animals have such a personality, and you spend hours with them training them, so they are perfect when they get into that show ring.
So when it is time for them to go, is it harder to say goodbye to some than to others?
It is. Some you just wave and say, see you later, and others there are tears shed, yes.
Sonia, do all goats go to heaven?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, fair enough. You heard it here, folks. All goats do not go to heaven. So be a good goat out there. All right, well, thank you very much for everything you're doing to improve students' awareness of the careers in agriculture and also just how the world works around them.
Thank you so much.
Stay with us. More fun on the farm at Ag Day when we come back.
Are you looking for a job right now? Looking to work in a fun and supportive environment with great pay and a rewarding career? Jordan School District is hiring. We're currently filling full and part-time positions. You can work and make a difference in young lives and education as a classroom assistant or a substitute teacher. Apply to work in one of our school cafeterias, where our lunch staff serves up big smiles with great food every day. We're also looking to hire custodians and bus drivers. In Jordan School District, we like to say, people come for the job and enjoy the adventure. Apply today at workatjordan.org.
Now let's listen in as Jordan School District maintenance employees talk about some of the equipment they use.
Anybody have any ideas what that is? How many of your parents fertilize the grass at your house? The little spreader thing? This is the same thing but on steroids right here. This we can haul about 8,000 pounds with this of fertilizer. What does fertilizer do for us?
Kills the weeds in the grass.
It can if it has that component with it. What? Yes.
It grows the grass. It fertilizes the grass.
Exactly. Can fertilizer be used on anything other than just grass? Yes. What?
Flower beds?
Yeah, flower beds, trees. Just about anything that comes up out of the ground, fertilizer will help it.
So this is the aerator, and what it does is it digs up these little holes that you see in the grass, every so often. But what it does is it digs those holes, puts them in the ground, and it allows the grass and the soil to breathe, kind of. And then it works hand in hand with the fertilizer, because when you do this, then it allows the fertilizer to kind of get a little deeper in the soil and bring a little more nutrients to the grass, and that makes it a little healthier.
Introduce yourself to everyone.
My name is Alicia Neal, and I'm the agriculture teacher at Mountain Ridge High School.
And what does being the agriculture teacher at Mountain Ridge High School entail?
So I am both the FFA advisor, and then I teach the agriculture classes. So for me, that's animal science, floriculture, biology, agriculture, and equine science.
Floriculture?
Yes.
And do students learn how to raise and arrange flowers?
So the floriculture is different than the floriculture in greenhouse class, which I've taught before, but in floriculture we're focusing mostly on floral design. So we've done a couple weddings in my class so far this year. We have a couple more to do. So we get a lot of the hands-on experience in designing and arranging flowers.
That's awesome. What are some of the other classes? Tell me again.
So animal science is all about animals and animal science. We focus mostly on livestock animals in Animal Science 1, and then we get into small and companion animals in Animal Science 2. But we cover anatomy and physiology, as well as what it takes to raise those animals, and what it would take, for example, to get beef from the farm to the plate. And so we follow those animals all the way through.
Lots of kids and lots of people generally have lost an understanding of how that happens and what all is involved. What value do you see in bringing students along and helping them understand that process?
So I think, and I tell my kids this, we do a consumer products unit. And being a good consumer of animal products in general, and having a better understanding of what it takes to get those products to you is really important for kids as they make informed decisions as voters, and as they go out and learn to be consumers of their own products and make those choices. Every time a kid or a person buys a product from the grocery store, they're essentially voting for how they want that product raised and handled with their dollar. And so that's an important thing for our students to understand and to be able to apply. So whether they grow up to be in the agriculture profession or not, understanding how to be a good consumer is important.
Anybody who eats can be more intentional and informed about the choices they make.
100%. Yeah, that's exactly it. And like I said, understanding labels, understanding the different ways our products are raised is really important. And even though we're in a suburban to urban setting, like you said, every person that eats can make better informed choices if they understand the background of where those products came from.
You mentioned companion animals.
Yes.
Would I normally call that a pet?
That would be a pet.
And
yes.
Tell me about companion animal versus pet.
So a companion animal as registered is what we would consider a pet. In the animal industry, we call them companion animals, but that could be everything now from a chinchilla to a dog or cat, even horses. I have kids that have mini horses that go do therapy with them. So there's a broad spectrum of what we consider a companion animal now. But we also talk about exotics, some zoology stuff in there as well.
So ag courses can help students go into agriculture and be prepared for that, but also just better understand animals in their lives.
Correct. So agriculture really affects all of us. Every time you put on a piece of clothing that has cotton in it, to wearing leather shoes, to eating 3 times a day, all of that is influenced by agriculture. And so those classes I do have a lot of kids that are in the vet science line of things, but I also have kids that are just there because they're interested in animals and want to learn a little bit more. And it really does. It affects all of us. There's things that you don't think about. Everything from your hair gel and mascara down to the filters, the air filters in our car have animal products in them. So it's things we need to learn about.
Tell me about FFA.
So FFA is a passion of mine and always has been. I had a really excellent ag teacher who's now the principal here at JATC South. And FFA is really a life-changing student leadership organization. We have a fairly decent chapter at Mountain Ridge, and we're growing. Last year with the pandemic, things kind of got a little off track, but we're back on now. And we have competitions for students to be in, but really, first and foremost, it's a student leadership organization where kids learn hands-on leadership skills. My student officers make all the decisions for our chapter, our school. So they decide what socials we have, what competitions we're in, what things run that way. They run the whole program, and my job is just to be there for an advisor role.
Tell me the thinking behind having students teaching students at this event.
One of my favorite things about this particular 7th grade Ag Day, we've been doing it for quite a number of years, but it gives my kids the first-hand opportunity to expand their knowledge. And kids always learn better when they're teaching.
Sure.
The person doing the talking is usually the one doing the most learning. And so they get that added benefit of being able to tell what they know. They also kind of experience what it's like to be a teacher, and they're usually nicer to me after this day. They're a little bit grateful. They're like, this is exhausting. How do you do this all the time? But they also, by teaching, they kind of round out their knowledge and they can see where they have gaps. It's also really valuable to my students because as they apply for FFA awards, my kids have to have 100 service hours. And so this goes to count towards those service hours and can help them. The degree application they have to do is approved by the state of Utah, and they really like this on their applications. This shows up really nice for them.
So you don't have to be a future farmer of America to be an FFA.
Please, no. So Future Farmers of America, the name actually changed in 1988, and they dropped the Future Farmers part of it, but kept FFA because of all the tradition and history we have associated with it. But Future Farmer really should be future biologist, future engineer, future wildlife biologist, future soil tech, future
informed consumer.
Exactly. Everyone is affected by agriculture, whether directly or indirectly, and agriculture is still our nation's largest employer. So whether it's in the field, which there's not a ton of actual farmers anymore as we've condensed, but agriculture still employs more people than any other industry.
Thank you very much. It's great talking with you, and thank you for all the efforts that you put into making an event like this possible. I'm sure it's the type of exposure that many students haven't experienced.
Yeah, it's really fun, and the best part is the kids that do it here in 7th grade, a lot of times by the time they get to high school, they remember it, and they come and seek our programs out. So it works really well all the way around.
That's great. Thanks again. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Supercast. Remember, education is the most important thing you'll do today. We'll see you out there.